Not much to do these past days, and so I started surfing a religious internet forum, and someone had posted this question: will it be possible to celebrate Holy Week after we return to normal in May or so? A theologian replied, Easter comes when it comes. It is always a time of rejoicing, even amid a pandemic. Well, that seems to answer that, or does it? What is there to rejoice about? In a time of pestilence, when people are anxious, when some die alone, and bodies are lined up in makeshift mortuaries, is it not insulting to suggest that this is a time of rejoicing? Every age, every culture, every human being is familiar with death. It is happening all the time. It will happen to each one of us, to you, to me. So you'd think that by now we would have grown used to the idea, and death's familiarity could be treated with contempt. But that's not what's happened. Instead, we continue to rage against the dying of the light. Why is this? What is it about death that sickens and terrorizes us? There is a terrible finality about death. Where all life dies, death lives, writes the poet John Milton in Paradise Lost. He's spot on. Where all life dies, death lives. Not only do we live in the shadow of our own mortality, but death can take from us everything that we hold precious. And while the living may find consolation in the store of memories we hold for our deceased loved ones, these memories change nothing for the dead themselves. Then there are all the other deaths we experience. Relationships that decompose. People who have become dead to each other. Friendships once important that cool and rigor mortis sets in. Sacred vows that are pronounced dead with the words unreasonable behaviour on a divorce certificate. Communities and civilizations will wither and die when they have nothing life-giving to offer. In business, we read about the death of the high street. In contemporary art, beauty survives on a life support system, while the cult of the ugly thrives. The philosopher Nietzsche may have declared God to be dead, but he understood what the collateral damage would be. That humanity would also attend the funerals of meaning and hope. Death is not nothing at all. It is not a benign presence. Death remains the great enemy of mankind. On Calvary, the contest between life and death is not nothing at all. Jesus is not just sparring with death. In Gethsemane, he faces the great enemy with such intensity that he sweats blood. Yet he will do the Father's will. He will not retreat from his mission. He will face down the enemy. Death and sin will be conquered. But what do we mean by conquered? It cannot mean that death has become a trivial concern. During this pandemic, we're all taking the reality of death very seriously. So it must mean something else. In the created world, all things will die. Things are changeable and corruptible. They corrode, mutate, or rot. In time, they die. But God is not a thing. The mistake is to imagine that he is the biggest, the most powerful thing. He's not. God is no thing. But rather, God is the reason that has brought all created reality into being and sustains it in being. When death has wreaked its destructive power on all things, God alone stands untouched. Eternal love remains, ready to catch each one of us in his divine embrace and save us from annihilation. The crucified and risen Christ reveals this truth to us. He experienced the nothingness of death, but God's living creative word could not be stifled or silenced. God speaks, and linen bands silently unwrap. The stone seal grumbles open, and the light of a new day spills through the widening gap. Christ steps from the tomb, victorious. The great promise of Easter is that in all our deaths, God speaks to us. And when we listen, all that seals our souls from the light of his grace is broken open. We become able to live the life of the resurrection, even now, and we pray we will share in it fully in the life to come. Yes, death is real, but death has been overcome. The great enemy is defeated. And yes, we are mortal, but we have also been created to attune our lives to the call of God, the call that will raise us from our graves and pilot us safely home into the life of the Blessed Trinity. Even in a time of pestilence, perhaps especially in a time of pestilence, this hope has to be heard. This is the cause of our rejoicing. The Lord has risen, my brothers and sisters. He has risen indeed. A holy and healthy Easter to you and your families. Alleluia, alleluia.